Welcome to the NS9 Postgame show powered by Primanti Brothers. I'm Ryan. Doug's with me. It's just past midnight, May 1st, Doug. Have you seen a bigger mismatch in 2024 than the Pirates lineup against Mason Miller?
Well, yeah, just about the Pirates lineup against anybody. Right? I mean, Mason Miller, they didn't stand a chance, but I get the feeling if we run DiNardo out there, if the opponent runs DiNardo out there, that he's going to they're just terrible. I mean, they just can't hit. Shockingly, tonight they manufactured a run because I was sitting there thinking, God, we don't get guys past second base, but what do they bunted a guy over, sacrifice flied him in, for a big run there, game tying run at the time. But it's just it's an inept offense. We've won 10 games in the month of April. You're not, that's terrible, right?
Yeah, I mean, so Pirates drop 5-2 to the A's, 2 games in a row. Yeah, Doug, the 76ers fan. Yeah, I got my Ebbets Field shirt on, so
hey,
at least we're dressing in style here at midnight. Exactly. But yeah, Pirates dropped 5-2 to the A's, the Oakland A's, with about 16 people in the stands each night. Struck out 12 times in this game. The lineup was pretty much what we've been talking about for 2 weeks now. I don't know, longer than that. It's been brutal. Literally had no chance in the 9th inning. Didn't really have a chance in the 8th inning either. As they struck out literally 6 straight. The last 6 at bats of the game were all strikeouts. Yeah, I'm running out of adjectives, Doug, to describe this lineup and how poor they've been.
What have we done this now for 3 straight weeks, right? They're inept. They don't do anything well offensively. And there has not been one bit of change. And I don't mean fire Derek Shelton. I mean, bring up Jake Lamb. I don't think Jake Lamb is good. I don't, but my God, he might be 1 hit a week better than Rowdy Tellez. Isn't that something? Bring up Gonzalez or Peggy. I mean, it's just Billy McKinney. I don't care. Do something. Show me something. I mean, I would like a bigger change, obviously. Andy Haynes being number 1. Shelton's on thin ice, with hot shoes as far as I'm concerned. But I don't think as far as the Pirates are concerned. But make a trade, a minor trade. You know what I'm saying? Just do something to show me that you don't think this is acceptable. Right. That we've got to try something, right? So, no, it's just status quo.
I'm with you, and Bucko Brett here, he numb to it at this point. That's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I said it last week. If this offense continues the way it's going, which is nowhere, just absolutely pathetic, embarrassing. If you don't make a move and get rid of somebody, and like I said, if you want to, is anything really going to change if you get rid of Andy Haynes? Who knows? Probably, maybe not. Maybe it will. Or bring somebody up, like just shake things up. But if you don't do that, once again, you're showing along with the payroll and the offseason we've had, you're showing that you're just not serious about winning. And it's just, they're not serious about competing if they're just going to go in the status quo. And at this point, I mean, it falls back on, Shelton's got to sit there and say that this falls back on him. So if things aren't going to change, if he's not going to be able to do it, like to just save his job another year, he should be, voting behind the scenes to get rid of Haynes. So, I'm on the boat since last year. I've wanted Charrington. I wanted them all gone. But obviously I don't think that's going to happen. And but like you said, just something needs to happen. Make a move, call somebody up, fire Haynes, fire Shelton, whatever it is. Just make the move and mix things up and see, shake it up and see, because what they're doing right now, which is nothing, isn't working.
Yeah, exactly. You can't keep on with this course of action, running out this lineup and expecting different results. Now, I mean, I guess it's kind of logical. You would think sooner or later the whole team can't hit 170, but they seem bent on proving us that they can. I mean, again, for the most part, we don't put any pressure on a pitcher on a defense. I mean, we barely get guys, some singles, excuse me, here and there, But yeah, these pitchers, I mean, they must feel supremely confident, as the game goes on. You give up a first inning home run to Connor Joe, it's fine. Don't worry.
That was it. Like you said, the rest were all singles. The leadoff home run to Joe, which, by the way, Connor Joe DiMaggio, make it trend, because that's what he's hitting like at this point, especially when look at the rest of the lineup around him. He hits the home run, and that's it. The rest were singles and walks, which again, they kind of got back into they were clogging up the base pass a little bit, but just once again, there's no big hits. There's no big hits, no doubles, no one's driving the ball, no home runs with anybody on base. And that was it. And, we saw it. What was yesterday? Joe Boyle, whoever it was, 7.32 ERA. Today, Alex Wood has a 6.3, ERA. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Like,
and it's been terrible the past couple years against the Pirates. Yeah.
Yeah. And,
I mean, it's just.
And tomorrow it's Ross Stripling, who doesn't have a good ERA either. But I haven't looked this up, but I have just PTSD from, I'm pretty sure we don't hit Ross Stripling well in the past. So knowing this,
we're certainly not going to hit him well tomorrow.
Right. That's what I mean. It's predictable at this point. I mean, it's predictable as Mason Miller striking out the side tonight.
Right. There's nobody that, I'm it's a late night game. I'm kind of getting stuff ready for tomorrow. They're in between innings, and there's no urgency to oh gosh, I need to see this guy at bat. It's not like the enthusiasm we have to watch Jared Jones pitch. We don't have a single hitter that you're like, oh man, I can't miss his at bats. I mean, Reynolds has been fine. Connor Joe has been good. Alika Williams' 9-game hit streak ended tonight. But I mean, it's just there's nobody that you're thinking, okay, they're going to get things rolling. I mean, they said a guy gets to first base. I don't expect him to get to second, so, let alone get knocked in. There's just, I mean, we've said it. Everybody else, Jim and Anthony and Tyler and Neil, and Cody have all said it. I mean, I don't know what else we can, say. It's terrible. And something.
I'm running out of stuff to say. I've done this show way too many times, and I only do 1 or 2 post-game shows a week. Right. And this is the 6th time I've done this show. I feel like it's just there's nothing. Doug, I think we did this 3 weeks ago, and I asked you, have you seen this bad of a stretch? It's just, a lineup getting this cold. It's been 3 weeks now. 3 weeks. And I mean, we could throw all the numbers at you. They're all just pathetic, embarrassing numbers. The OPS plus, WRC plus for the whole team right down the line. And it's just, nobody is doing anything. Like you said, it's not Jared Jones right now when he's on the mound. It's must-see TV. And Skeens in AAA, if you're not pulling up a minor league baseball TV stream, you're at least following along on Twitter, seeing what he's doing. Right. At this point, that's the two exciting things that we're following at this point. It's nothing in this lineup, nothing at all. Like McCutchen,
right?
They moved him in the leadoff spot. He had a couple home runs, and he's right back. They batted him 4th tonight. What's he down to? Right. 190 batting average, 633 OPS. It's just It's bad. It's so bad.
Yeah,
Groundhog's Day. That's what
I
it
mean,
is.
it's like I said, it's historically bad. It's epically bad. You know, um, yeah, golly. I mean, it's just the only hope is that somehow, flipping over the calendar page to May, does something, but I can't
It
see
won't.
how. Right. I can't
My
see
my
how.
thing is, I tweeted out yesterday. It was like rock bottom at this point. Like you lost to the A's. Now you just lost 2 in a row to the A's. Like
I know that
at
that
some point,
lineup.
someone's got to get it going.
Right. They have one guy in their lineup that was hitting over 235. Tyler Nevin, I think, is hitting three. I
Yeah.
mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? Their lineup looked as bad as ours, statistically speaking. Yet somehow they could muster up 5 runs.
Yeah,
JJ Bleday.
JJ Bleday, two hits, a couple home runs. It's just
Right.
it's bad. So I mean, I can't talk about this offense anymore, man. I just don't know if the Pirates aren't going to make any changes. Why should we keep talking about it? I guess why should I care?
Yeah.
So let's talk about. I know you're just chomping at the bit to talk about Mitch Keller. So let's dive into it.
I mean, yes and no, because it doesn't matter what Mitch Keller does or does not do, right? I mean, he could have
It really
pitched.
doesn't.
He could have got 9 innings and given up a run. I mean, it's so. But yes, he does frustrate me. He's got his contract. He has his personal catcher. Martin Perez can pitch to Henry Davis effectively. Quinn Priester pitched to Henry Davis. Bailey Falter, Jared Jones, but Mitch has to have Joey Bart. And I'm sure if DeLay comes back, it'll have to be DeLay. But he doesn't give us, Greg Maddux had a personal, I think he had Eddie Martinez instead of Javi Lopez. But you know what he did? He won Cy Youngs. So you'll say, okay, Mitch Keller, he's now got, I mean, again, when we're citing stats like 38 consecutive starts with 5 innings pitched, well, 5 of those, he's pitched 7 times this year, so he's gone at least 5 innings. But in 5 of those, he's given up more than 3 runs. I mean, look, I know Mitch Keller's not an ace, but I mean, he's not. We have to go to the bullpen too early. I mean, at least he could do is eat innings, and I don't mean the 2024 version of eat innings. I mean, let's go back to 1972 eating. Give us 7, right? Give us 7 innings. Give us quality starts. Give us 7 innings and 3 runs. But no, it's Pirates take a lead, he gives it back. Pirates take tie it up, he gives up the lead. He's what his ERA is a little over 5.
5.18 now.
Yeah, I mean he's an average pitcher is what he is now.
Here's where I'm at with Keller, and you mentioned average, and I think, at least in my head, maybe this is how I cope or justify it. I've kind of shifted my expectations with Keller. Like you mentioned, the 38 starts in a row of 5 innings, which is it's kind of amazing if you think about it. But I mean, if that's Keller's floor, if he's going to grind out 5 innings, give up 2-3 runs, whatever. And he's obviously not, he hasn't been, this is not his sharpest start to the season ever, and probably any point of his career, but he's grinding out these 5 innings. He's keeping a team with a horrible lineup right now that can't score runs in every game pretty much. You want to see him go deeper, and we've seen him be better than that. Like he can be better than that. I know you've talked about it before, like stop throwing the cutter. And so like
RBI on the cutter today.
Yeah. So like he can be better. He's clearly working through some things this year. He hasn't been sharp, but if he's giving you 5 innings and this is his floor, like I guess him being in the middle of the rotation, and now that Jared Jones is there, Skeens is hopefully knocking on the door, maybe one more start away, or he'll be in Pittsburgh soon. Like Keller kind of gets moved to that middle of the rotation guy. So I've kind of shifted my expectations with him, and it's just where I'm at with him. So I don't really mind him. It's kind of like, yeah, he's like you said, he's average, but we know he can be better than that. But just right now, he's not it. Like this looks like
I mean that's what my point has been, is that we just need to sort of let go that he's going to be a top of the rotation starter. He's certainly not going to be an ace, and he's not even going to be a top of the rotation starter. But that's fine, right? Like I said, we're not paying him crazy money. We're not paying him ace money. I think he's going to live up to the contract. Hopefully, he'll have like a hot month every once in a while where he pitches 6-7 innings, gives up 2 runs in each start. And like you said, right? I mean, he gave up 3 runs. And if a team had any bats at all, that'd be fine. Right? And that's my whole point is I don't want to get rid of Mitch Keller. I'm not saying he's a bum or a bust or anything like that. He's just not our number 1 starter, and it doesn't look like he's not going to be our number 2 starter.
Right.
And
I think I don't think he ever really was, but I think fans and we build people up a little more than maybe. And I think him being looked at that because he was really our only guy the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Best guy in the rotation. So he kind of becomes that ace label. And like you said, I just don't think he's ever
somewhat
really been
strongly. Right. He finished 22 somewhat strongly. Started out 23 pretty strong, and then after he made the All-Star team, and then he just sort of kind of stunk for the rest of the way.
Right.
He'd have some gems here and there, but yeah, I think we, like you said, he was the only guy. We were desperate. We're like, okay, but again, if we can get him to be a number 4 starter, if we can get a couple guys in front of him, that's fine. It'll be fine. And again, like I said, it just doesn't matter how good he is now. This team will not give him run support.
That's the thing. I mean, if the Pirates could just score 4 runs a game, think what the difference in their record would be, or in Keller's record. It's just they're getting 1 to 2 runs a game, and that's it. Like you can't, you're not going to win. So that's what I mean. Like we talk about the pitching, how great the starting pitching's been throughout the year, and it doesn't matter. They're just wasting these performances. It really doesn't matter that Keller's like problem number, at least 11 because the first 9 problems are all the lineup.
Right. So like I said, I didn't have, it's like it's not deserving of a rant because, like I said, it's the 10th problem down on the list. I mean, the 1 through 9 in the lineup are way, way, way ahead, of Mitch Keller. So, again, hopefully he gets a little better. Hopefully he gets a little more consistent. Hopefully he stops throwing the cutter, but beyond that, like I said, he can't be, he's not the problem right now. Like I said, if anything, my biggest wish now is that he just throws another inning or 2 per start, so we don't have to go to the bullpen so quickly.
Right. Yeah, and I like you said, as far as what problem he is on the list. Like I have more confidence in him and the pitching staff figuring it out than I do the Haynes and Shelton figuring out this lineup because it's just bad. It's bad. I don't know what else to say about them. They're bad.
Yeah. And again, it just, we so much they've extended 3 people now, they're developing young pitchers. And we just so much want to believe that this team is starting to turn a corner just as far as like approach from management. But here we are again. And it feels like, it feels like 2021 all over again, where we have no interest in winning, the game, right? Just none. It's not important. It's all part of a bigger picture process or something like that. And so, it like we just can't get on board because this team, just every time we start to get a little bit, a little belief, a little committed to them, they go through a 5-15 stretch. 3 weeks of just absolute awful offensive baseball and not a single change. Other than, we'll put Kutch in leadoff and we'll back Kutch 4th and we'll back Kutch, oh, wow. A big, huge seismic change there.
I know. And they're really like people say, well, I don't put, how can you put Kutch 3rd or 4th? I mean, they're really running. They don't have guys to put in the middle of this lineup. I mean, Henry Davis isn't that guy. Henry Davis should be in AAA. Like, where's Grandal? Right. I thought Grandal was coming back. Like, what's happening?
Right. Yeah.
Davis should be in AAA trying to catch schemes.
Yeah.
At this point.
I mean, right. If I'm the Pirates at this point, like my first three are probably Hayes, Reynolds, and Connor Joe. And Hayes isn't really doing much. Brian Reynolds is doing a little bit better. Connor Joe is playing well. But yeah, I mean, so what do what does it matter if it's Tellez, Cruz, Kutch, Joey Bart? I mean, Oliveira. It doesn't matter who's fourth, fifth, and sixth. Sawinski. He's not in today's game, but I'm over the Sawinski experience.
How about pinch hitting Cruz in the ninth inning here? He's all cold sitting on the bench. Get in there and face Mason Miller.
Go face Mason Miller, one of the better relievers of the game.
Good luck.
That's unfair.
Here's my other thing, Doug. Like with it being the offense that's struggling, like the pitching's been good, the offense just non-existent. These games are boring. Like Jim was down in Houston today, saw like a 10-9 ridiculous extra inning game. I think I would take, like, obviously you want pitching. I think, you want pitching more than anything. Like, you can never have enough good pitching. But I think at this point, I would take 9 to 8 losses than this crap, watching your team just sit there and strike out all day.
This is just awful. And especially, staying up to watch it. Like, my God. I mean, I
guess the games are shorter at least than a 9-8 slugfest. But
yeah. It's just, you're right. I mean, like I said, they don't just not score. I mean, they don't hit. I mean, they don't threaten to score.
No.
It's like, I mean, there's at no point you think, oh, it might be a rally. No. Like you said, the last 6 guys strike out. I think it seems like already half a dozen times that I've heard, and that's, insert opponent's name here, his career high in strikeouts as a pitcher. I mean,
always against our lineup.
Yeah. I mean, we're making a bunch, pitchers are going to get paid facing this lineup.
Yeah. They're making it harder than it needs to be, than it really is. Like, baseball's a hard game, but the Pirates are making it a lot harder. Like, and I just can't, like, I feel like a Major League Baseball player could stand there with the bat out just across the plate and run into one every once in a while and hit a double. I mean, my goodness. And it's just, it's from top to bottom. Besides, Connor Joe DiMaggio, nobody else is really hitting the ball.
I do like that. I'm on board with Connor Joe.
There we go. I like it. Let's get it trending
here. I mean, look, this team has been terrible over the, past 4 seasons, but the bottom of the lineup then was hitting 220, right? We've got several guys hitting under 200, and not just guys, not Alika Williams, right? Yeah. It's not Alika Williams. It's Henry Davis. It's O'Neill. I think Cruz is over 200. It's Andrew McCutchen. It's Sawinski. Yeah,
Hayes, Cruz. I mean, like, this isn't Michael Martinez and Eric Gonzalez. Running out
exactly.
Here.
I mean, this isn't Josh Van Meter. Josh Van Meter was a better hitter than what these guys were. I mean, it's just dreadful, and I mean, we're just redundant. I mean, it's just it's almost time just to say, let's just get the April 18th show. Just put that in because it's all the same stuff.
Hit, repeat. Yeah. Hey, Jared Triolo had a very nice catch.
That was terrific. That was fun.
That was an exclamation point there in the scorebook. His double tap to himself. That was pretty good. But I mean, the defense was fine tonight. I don't think the defense had its usual lapses or fundamentals and things like that. Bart threw out a base runner.
Yeah, they did the pitch out.
Which was good to see. Nice. But it's just when you're not hitting, you have 1 home run, a solo shot, and then 0 doubles, no triples, nothing else. It's all singles.
Right. We're not making our base running errors because, we just don't have base runners, right? It's not because they've cleaned that part of the game up. It's just, we don't put guys on base.
Yeah.
On the plus side, the Sixers were down 6 with 25 seconds, tied it up, went to overtime. The opponent scored the first 5 of the overtime, and they came back and won. So I have a little joy in my heart. Maybe
But
that's why.
kept the series alive, right?
Kept it alive and
There
coming
you
back
go.
to Philly for Game 6.
Here you go. Michael B. Austin Hedges was a better hitter than half these guys. I mean, that's where we're at right now.
Right. That's exactly it. I mean, it's Yoshi Susugo and Josh Van Meter formed a better, 6, 7, 8 than what we've got now from first overall picks and guys that hit 27 home runs last year and guys that were expecting to hit 40 home runs this year. It's just a mess.
Yeah. So tomorrow, Quinn Priester goes to try to salvage one game in the series and not be swept by the Oakland A's. Which I mean, I don't know how you get more rock bottom than that if they get swept.
Right.
But
I did the show Sunday and I said, I hate when we're like, oh, it's the Oakland A's. We never, I mean, we've already lost the series to them and now we're, on the verge of being swept by the Oakland A's. You ever see the movie Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?
yes.
It's okay. And who are those guys? That's what I'm thinking. This whole, I don't know any of these guys, right? I know JJ Bleday just because he was a high first round pick, I think he was in that Henry Davis draft and he was one of the shortstops that supposedly we were considering. But man, I mean, it's just, the Oakland A's, they're not even trying.
How about the crowds? Like, does that not remind? I feel like we're watching COVID games again.
Yeah.
In 2020,
yeah.
with a couple team executives, spread out in the stands, and that's it. Like it's wild.
I had originally planned to go out on this trip because I wanted to see the Oakland Stadium. It's last year of existence, so I would have went to the weekend games in San Francisco. And then I would have went. I'm so glad that. I mean,
you would have had a great time.
Oh my God!
But now you could go see the stadium in Sacramento when they're in there.
Yeah, that'll be.
I don't know. I don't know if we'll have more fans there or not.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be a novelty for a little while, maybe.
Quinn Priester, our stopper.
Yeah.
Hey, he could stop him, but is somebody going to score a run for us
to
win?
He pitched 6 shutout innings his last start, and that would most likely leave us tied at 0 going into the 7th inning. So
I mean, I know each start is a different day, and you got to go in it. But when these guys give up 1 or 2 runs, they got to feel like, well, that's it for me getting a win today. Just zero chance.
I always think that these kind of games put so much pressure on them that it's more of a drain and a strain on them, and that it's going to hurt us or them later in the season, right? Because they don't ever get to go out there and just pitch, right? They've got to be perfect, and that's got to put some mental pressure on you. It's 2-1, and we think, oh man, insurmountable lead, right? And in the second inning, right. You're not thinking that, okay, it's 2-1 going into the 9th against Mason Miller. Boy, I don't like our chances. No. Alex Wood is pitching, and I'm thinking, no, we're not going to score 3 runs against Alex Wood. So
the Sacramento Fighting Rowdy Tellez's. Jim, thanks for that comment. Yeah. Well, that's all I got, Doug. I don't know if anything else in this game, it's too exhilarating much. Game you wanted to talk about, but
we should let our faithful chat members get to sleep. They stayed up long enough. They watched awful baseball, and now they've just heard us repeat everything we've said for 20 games.
I'm telling you, I feel like I'm in Groundhog's Day, that movie, because it's the same post-game show pretty much every night. But no, I mean, big shout out to everybody that's here watching and listening. It's hey, this is our therapy sessions, right? So we gotta get them in. And hey, what'd you say? The calendar turned May 1st, so maybe
May 1st. Something. We got Quinn Priester coming off a great start. It's a day game. Maybe that'll come back tomorrow afternoon. Hopefully, we can give away some sandwiches. I just don't feel
chat.
confident. Right?
No, there's no confidence going into tomorrow. I don't know how, like, if you're like a sports bettor, I don't know who's like backing the Buccos right now and betting them. Like, it's just, I don't know. I don't know how you're doing it. I think
No, you can't trust them. And they're the favorites.
yeah, they were
They've been
favored
the
the past 2
favorites.
nights. I think they're favored tomorrow. Like, it's just, it's
Oh,
asinine.
probably. Right.
Yeah, they're
But
like minus 120, so pretty, but yeah, it's just
not
like,
even.
yeah, it's just like, but they were the favorite the past 2 nights, and it's brutal. It's brutal. The chat, by the way, right now is just, they're just drunk. It's late. It's
Yeah.
we've been watching Bucco baseball for too long. So all right.
Yeah.
So sorry guys, no sandwiches tonight. Maybe Quinn Priester and the offense will muster something ahead tomorrow to get some free sandwiches to give out. But I haven't given them out since I think like the first week of the season. So
Yeah, it's been a while. I don't. We give out sandwiches. I forgot.
yeah,
Slipped my
right.
mind.
What? I didn't know we gave anything away on these shows. All right. That's it. We're out. So once again, thanks for everyone for listening. We'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with a better, different show. Let me say that. So
Yeah, guys.
all right,
See you
guys.
tomorrow. I'll be here. I will be
Take
here
it
along
easy.
with Neil. All right.
Later.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.